Hi everyone, it's Anne. Happy full moon in Pisces, and it is a full blue supermoon that we are having tonight. It passed a few hours ago, but I am here to offer just a quick one card reading for everyone to help guide us through this time. So, I must mention that in addition to it being a super moon, meaning the moon is closest to the earth as it ever gets, and a blue moon, meaning it's the second full moon of our month of August, we also have 5 planets retrograde, including Mercury, which we're probably somewhat familiar with, and Uranus, or Uranus, which just went retrograde, and Venus, which is soon to go direct in a few days, I believe on Sunday. But in addition to those, we also have Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto also retrograde. So there's a lot of inward focus or attention or energy, a lot of internal restructuring happening, a lot of reconsidering, rethinking, redoing, rewriting, re-evaluating things for all of us individually and collectively. And with Uranus, it's the planet of sudden change. It's associated with lightning. It's about revolution and rebellion and being just sudden change, being different all of a sudden. So with that happening, we can expect lots of change happening. Not to mention, this full moon is in Pisces during the season of Virgo, both of which are mutable signs, which are very changeable and adaptable. Pisces is the mutable water sign ruled by Neptune. It's very much about the collective unconsciousness and the part where we devolve or dissolve into the collective. It's about a blurring of boundaries and an emerging of energies from the individual to the collective. And then Virgo is the mutable earth sign, and that's the season we're in. It's the season of harvest. It's ruled by Mercury, and it's all about the details. It's all about carefully selecting the crops for harvest and doing all of the things to prepare for the winter time. So that being said, our full moon was just at 6:35 p.m. Pacific time today, and I'm going to pull one card to guide us through the next couple of weeks. Tonight I'm using my Tarot del Fuego deck designed by Ricardo Cavolo. This is a Spanish deck by the Fournier imprint. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite newer decks, and I also love that it's a little bit smaller than most decks that you see. So for people like me with smaller hands, it's a little bit easier to shuffle. But without further ado, I'm going to just shuffle one more time. I have shuffled 12 times already in honor of the Pisces full moon. But let's do one more and see what comes up. So I invite you all to take a deep breath with me. As I pull one card. And it is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords from the Tarot del Fuego. And the Page of Swords is the page of the mental plane, or the page of the air element. And the pages are all about learning. They are novices, beginners, apprentices, students, young people, or at least youthful situations in our lives, because we may experience this state of being again and again throughout our lifetime, regardless of our age. But the page represents being in a beginner's mindset, or having opportunities to learn from elders or from those who may be more experienced than we are, or from an environment which has a lot to teach us. And then the swords are the mental plane, like I mentioned, and that's all about the mind. It's all about thought. So this really does represent being in a very mutable or changeable mindset, in that we can learn new information, new beliefs, new ways, new methods, new structures, new languages, new words that can help us change who we are. But as everything, change and everything else begins mentally. So this is a reminder that we have this power, especially right now, to learn and adapt our thinking in order to cultivate change in the future. And then let's talk about the imagery of this card. So we have what looks to me like a young woman. She's blindfolded. She has I think it's called the hilt of a sword in her mouth. The sword is pointing down, and it looks like it's stabbing. I want to say this is a mountain top with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 eyes looking out from it. And then flames coming up from the mountain. Her hair is brown and it's flowing on either side of her head, kind of like mountains. And then it looks like she has rain clouds near above her shoulders would be. And then a crown floating above her head, and then a wreath of flowers around her head. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stars in the background. So this is interesting. There's a lot going on here. The number 9 reminds me of the Hermit. That's a card about going within and going on our own and being our own guide in order to transform or cultivate change. And it feels to me like the sword coming out of her mouth represents the usage of words and language and speaking truth. But the blindfold represents an experience of being objective, or a desire or a need to be objective and to think without bias, which is a challenge. But when we are of a youthful mindset, it is easier to do that than sometimes when we become more experienced and may become jaded, or may get to a place where we think we know everything, or we think we are experts in a situation. So it really is about a youthful mindset. And then I also want to mention her eyes. From underneath the blindfold, it looks like she's crying from one eye, which is a rain cloud. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, 9 raindrops. So there's that number again. A prime number, a sacred number, the number of the Hermit, the number before we get to a big turning point, which would be the Wheel of Fortune. So 9 raindrops, that's 9 of the water element, 9 emotions, 9 emotional connections, shedding emotions, releasing emotional stress, releasing attachment in the emotional realm. That could be what that is. And that's her left eye. So that's the receiving side, or the feminine side. And then on the other side, it looks like lightning coming out of her eye. So there's that connection with Uranus, or Uranus, the sudden change, the fire element, the element of a burst of energy or a jolt of energy. And that would relate to the fire element, of course, which is the realm of the spirit. So this looks like a very pivotal moment or a very intense moment for her. And being the Page of Swords, she is someone who may be experiencing new ideas with a lot of intensity and a lot of emotions, a lot of spiritual excitement or energy. And it really looks like not a lot of groundedness other than this earth element below. Although she is kind of shaped like a mountain. So she is her own world, you could say. So I'm going to definitely read some more about this card and explore Ricardo Cavallo's interpretation of the Page of Swords, because I'm so familiar with some older decks like the Rider-Waite or the Aquarian deck that this is kind of a new iteration for me. But I will just say that this expresses to me that our minds are very fertile and that there is a lot of potential for change happening right now. So I would encourage you all to join me in doing the best we can to stay calm, stay level-headed, stay in control of ourselves physically, and to take the best care of ourselves as possible right now, because when we are resting and nurturing ourselves well, we can really appreciate the new ideas and the new information that comes to us without having a stress response or without being reactionary or unnecessarily negative about it, and kind of just take it all with a neutral mindset. So I hope this was helpful to all of you out there, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time for a new moon reading. Bye for now.